Hello folks, this is Carla again, and this time I'm back with a review for episode 12 of season 4 of Major Crimes. This episode is titled Blackout, and I have to say, one of the things I love most in procedurals is storylines that deal with wrong timelines of sorts. When Emmys first say time of death and the police builds their case around it, and then all of a sudden that wasn't time of death. So when this episode started, I kind of imagined that it was going to be something like that, which had me really excited. Like, I thought either the video or the Fitbit data would be altered somehow, so that the time of the murder wasn't really the time of the murder as the police had it written down. So from point one, I was already hooked into this episode because that is one of my favorite types of plot lines. It didn't turn out to be that way in the end, and I'm kind of a bit miffed that, the drunk, abusing husband didn't get what was coming to him. I do hope that they can somehow, put him in jail for spousal abuse or something, because he certainly should not keep his daughter. Come on, he hit her. There's gotta be some sort of provision for that. But I still liked the episode. I thought I learned a lot, because I'm not an engineer, I'm not a lawyer, so I tend to be more on the side of science and things. I don't know much about law, so I learned today that the defense is supposed to present their evidence in a timely manner. And that's what I figured too, because I know that people can be charged with obstruction of justice if they fail to give the police information that might help solve a case. But I didn't know the lawyers had that option too. I thought that lawyers could just withhold information if it was negative towards their clients' cases, Fifth Amendment and all that. So that was interesting. I didn't know that was a thing. And, any episode with Jack Raydor is interesting in a way that he's kind of like the Grinch. He's always trying to work against it's not just him wanting to make money. It's him, actively, working against Sharon in the Major Crimes Department somehow. Because, he's really miffed at the whole Sharon thing. He showed that today by the end, when he revealed Andy's secret. But, it's always great to see him go down splendidly, as he usually does. It's not just that he wanted to win a case, he wanted to hurt Sharon and her team. It's kind of, Scooby-Doo is I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you, Major Crimes Division. So that's always fun. I'm kind of a bit like Detective Provenza on that aspect. As long as I can see Jack Raydor go down spectacularly, I'm all in. The Rusty thing, I don't know where that's going. I don't remember Mariana's case enough to be able to say whether that affects the case or not. It's one of those things where I don't really want to feel bad for a murderer, because honestly I don't think that Slider deserves to walk free, so I hope it has nothing to do with the case. But at the same time, yeah, it's understandable that, sometimes the way society is leveled off and the way the system is created, it doesn't help people, and actually it stacks the deck against a lot of people, usually the poorer side of the spectrum. And these are things that we see every day. So, do I think it excuses what Slider did? No. But it's an interesting way to bring about the idea that, yes, sometimes it is a lot more difficult for people who don't have the means of having a stable life to actually get that stable life, and it's only, you know, the ones that actually fight for it and try to make something out of themselves in a good way that actually end up having a good life. But for the majority of them, it's not as easy as that. So it's good if Rusty gets to show that. And I mean, Slider is young, so I don't think he's all, you know, corrupt already. Like, he's not evil, he's just, he didn't measure his actions at that point, and he has to pay for it, but there's still hope for him to actually get out and be a productive member of society. So I don't want this to affect the case. I don't remember if it will, like him being able to read, if it had any effect on the case. I hope it doesn't, because I think he should go to jail, but at the same time, you know, if it helps shed a light, especially with Rusty, because Rusty, he actually can empathize with people like that, because Rusty, for a long time, he had the deck stacked against him, and if it wasn't for Sharon, he probably wouldn't have seen the light at the end of that tunnel. So since Rusty, I think up to a point, can empathize with Slider, it might be good to tell that story, and I think the show would be responsible in telling that story, because it's not always black and white with people who end up in jail, especially if it turns out that Slider eventually regrets what he did to Mariana. But yes, overall, I want them to find a way to tell Slider's story without making it sound like they're, you know, excusing him and his actions. So if they can do that, I'm all up for it, especially since Rusty's the one doing it to begin with. I was kind of worried, because in that first scene they were together, I felt like there was kind of a little bit of tension between Rusty and Andy, which I don't like, because I mean, Andy is going to be a part of Rusty's life right now, like since he and Sharon are together. But then by the second scene they had together, where Andy suggested that maybe there was something more to the Slider thing, that was a lot better. Like, I can see that Andy was kind of measuring his words, and he wasn't, because the first time around Rusty was like, yeah, that's the way cops think, you know, it's kind of an us versus them thing, that all kids who have problems with the law, or all kids that come from poor neighborhoods, have that kind of innate distrust of the law, because the system just doesn't work for them, right? So it's good that Andy recognizes that, and that he's not so much in a position of privilege to think that yes, the circumstances can definitely affect the way these kids turn out. So I like seeing that. I hope that they will get along. I mean, I guess now that Andy has to stay with Sharon, they will have to get along a little bit better. But hey, I like that scene. And speaking of Andy staying with Sharon, I have to admit, I'm kind of scared now. I mean, they're not going to kill Andy off, are they? Like, that would be awful. Please don't do that. Please, please, please. Because, you know, the whole thing about a clot in his carotid artery, that was, like, really scary for me. It sounded really, really bad. And I know they were trying to make light of it, but it kind of freaked me out. So I hope nothing happens to Andy. I mean, since he's had a lot of, you know, all these health issues from, like, the second season on and everything, like, I really hope that it's nothing terribly bad that might actually, you know, get him killed or anything. Please don't kill Andy. If you do that, I will, like, come on, Major Crimes is my happy show. Don't do that to me. So, yeah, I mean, I hope he takes it easy. I'm actually kind of glad that Jack put it there out in the open. I mean, yes, Jack is a jerkhole who shouldn't have said anything. Like, how do you even find out to begin with? But at the same time, it's also kind of good that they don't have to hide it from the team. I just hope that he gets better, and if he has to get surgery, then that it'll be smooth sailing, kind of. I mean, it's kind of cute now to see him together with Sharon. I think I'm kind of growing into this whole idea. I mean, I never disliked them or anything. It was kind of a thing, right? It was just there, but it wasn't really exciting to me. But now I'm starting to like them together. Like, now that I've seen them, interact without anybody else around, and see this courting thing they apparently are doing, I think that's, I think they're kind of cute, so I hope that Andy sticks around for a long while, and that I'm just worrying too much about something that is not as bad as I think it is. Also, I hope they don't get into trouble, because now if Andy's staying with Sharon, then the chief might have something against that, like, professionally speaking. I hope not. But hey, I guess we'll see. So all in all, it was a great episode. It had me hooked from the beginning, and it's giving us a look at the legal system that honestly I wasn't all that aware of. So that's great that you can learn something new from a TV show. That's always good. And also, I like the direction they're taking with the slider subplot, and it seems like it's going to be very emotional. So I can't wait to see where they go with it. And just please don't kill Andy. Please don't. But that's about it for my review now. So if you guys want to see more Major Crimes reviews, we just started on this show, so be sure to check out thegeekypub.com for more Major Crime reviews, as well as other reviews for other TV shows, for movies, for books, for games. We have a ton of stuff over there, so be sure to visit and check it out. And I'm out now. Bye.